The Survivor Specialist, Phil and Blake are back, and today we are digging deeper into episode number 7 of Survivor 48. We are going to be talking about a bunch of things. We had Say with a whole bunch of records that people keep talking about, so we'll talk about Say and her fall here and her elimination pre-jury. We'll talk about Cedric. We'll talk about some other things, and I'm also going to bring up the question that is in the title of this video, which is the Strong Five an alliance of underdogs? I hope that title makes you so mad. That's my hope. I really do. I hope it
Me
frustrates.
or the understood
No,
chat?
the proverbial you better be frustrated reading that. Blake, welcome in. What'd you think of last night's double boot episode?
Last night's double boot episode, I think, was a few things. It was a lot of people were like, "This is boring. This is whatever." I think this is just a payoff of the story that we've seen so far. Is that wow? That Green Tribe was full of people that weren't good at challenges. They also were all around socially and strategically. How do they get to the end? It would be gargantuan effort for them to get to the end, and it is like, okay, all of that reaping you did, it's time to sow. And it's like, you guys don't seem as trustworthy, and we haven't been as close to you guys because we weren't on the tribe with you. Because Cedric is on a tribe of people where the only person he's been on a tribe with in that is Mary, and Cedric has been like crazy example for like, oh, Cedric voted against me, and then oh wait, I wasn't a part of that Justin thing. And it's just like, I loosely said, yeah, we'll work together to keep Say over Justin. There's no, I want to work with Cedric in the future. So Cedric was kind of dead in the water of like, what is he going to do? And then we also have Say talk about like, I really haven't been talking game with a whole bunch of people, and I'm not sure where to go from here. And it's like, which one of these people did you want to flip to somebody to basically go, I'm not saying, it's like these people, I'm trying to figure out an analogy that's not going to be like, that's crazy that you would bring that up, but it's like, we told you this is some spicy food, and you didn't bring any milk, and you don't like spicy food. So like, why are you why are you like, I'm having an awful time at this Mexican food place, when we're like, don't eat the spicy food, it's only for like people that are from Mexico, we promise you, it's not white boy spicy. And it's like, that's the kind of level of, wow, I didn't take proper precautions, I didn't talk to you about stuff before today, and I'm going home, you guys are obsessed with me, you guys are a bunch of losers. And it's like, no, that's just kind of how the game works.
Yeah, I think we've lost sight a little bit of kind of like how Survivor is supposed to work or like how it has worked before the new era, because it always seems like there's something chaotic going on in the background, whether that's I'm sorry, whether that's idle plays or somebody just wanting to make a move to make a move. You got big move itis, like whatever it is, whether that's advantages that are just out there. I feel like what I watched last night was the culmination of Act 1 of Survivor, or really Act 2, I would almost say, of Survivor 48. Act 1 was before the tribe swap, and Act 2 was this ending for Cedric and Say. This was a mid-season finale, as we used to say back when CBS and NBC and stuff used to own TV. And it was, okay, here's your 13 episodes before Christmas. Here's your 13 episodes after Christmas. We're going to take 2 months off. And this is your mid-season finale. That's what last night was. Was it super satisfying? No, but you lost a main character, and you lost somebody who was integral to the story of the main character. When shows like Lost and stuff used to be on, the mid-season finale was a big deal, and it normally was the culmination of a
Shannon dies, but we got to keep going on.
Exactly. I know that was heartbreaking, but you know what I mean? It's like you have these storylines that came to a head, and I think that there's this feeling of it's boring. Why is it boring? That's my question. Like, if you're watching Survivor and the only way that the episode entertains you is if somebody you weren't expecting to go home goes home, then you are 100%. You should have voted for dynamic advantages, because you don't want people to just play the game. You want chaos all the time. You need idols. You need advantages. You want it so that the person on the bottom doesn't go home ever. They never are allowed to go. And that's fine. Like, you can watch it that way. but you're watching Survivor in a different way than maybe you want to admit. Like, if Will is listening, Will, you listening? If Will is listening, he started the podcast last night being like, didn't really love it. Like, it's got to find its legs, whatever. And it's like, but Will sit here and tell you like all these older seasons that he loves. And yeah, he's more of a Gabon fan and everything like that. But maybe Will actually loves advantages and stuff more, because last night, the two people who were supposed to go home based on the story that was told went home. And people are coming out of last night's episode unbelievably dissatisfied, unbelievably uninterested. Like, I always can tell if people are into a season, not by the numbers that our podcast gets, but by the numbers across the board, right? What are the numbers that other podcasters are getting? Over the last 2 weeks, with Charity going home and then with Say and Cedric going home last night, numbers for everybody are pretty much down across the board. Look, RHAP is recession proof. Okay. It doesn't matter. Like, Rob is going to keep thriving no matter what. I know Sam was on last night, so Sam and Steven are killing it. But like the other podcasters in this space, we had a rough night last night. We had a rough week last week. And it's like, what, like, Will and I had a hard time even talking about the episode last night because it was a very straightforward, of course Say was going to go home. Like, if you're playing Survivor, Blake, and I actually think you'd be the Say, so, you know, take that as you will. But if you're playing Survivor, Blake, and you go out there and it's, do I make the move that's good TV or do I make the move that's going to get me closer to $1 million? What move are you making?
I definitely want to go on Survivor to make money. That would be a thing. And if it's a difference of $20,000 because I threw a bone to somebody or didn't throw a bone to somebody, it's like, I know some of these people are going to regret it. If this final four, like Underdog Alliance, these people plus Kyle,
we got
pictures.
They make it, we got pictures.
We got pictures, folks. If all these people make it to the end, then Chrissy, Mitch, Star, they're going to be disappointed. Mary is playing with house money. I don't think Mary's going to be disappointed. Mary's excited every day she wakes up there. But like, I think those other people are going to be like, oh, damn, what the heck? And maybe I think the true thought process of why does this feel boring or why does this feel like not great is because like this 26 days of like, oh, we only got to really talk after the merge for like one 24-hour period that wasn't, we were all doing confessionals, we were all doing challenges. And when would I talk to everybody? Like, I didn't talk to Charity, and then I didn't talk to Joe. That was kind of the story of Say. And it's like everyone else got to talk to them more. And maybe they do need 3 days after a merge to really let it marinate of like, are you sure? Are you sure? And that used to be what we got when there was 39 days of, okay, once you do betray someone, you have 2 days to smooth it over and do damage control. But in the new era, it may be you wake up, you have a challenge that morning. It's a challenge that goes long because you got Superman on your tribe going and breaking records. And then you go, oh, I don't have time to really talk to you because tribal is in 2 hours. And it's like, that's not like, I feel for Say of like, what was she supposed to do? But like, she got swapped or demerged into a bad group for her. And like, who are you expecting on her tribe to help her out? And like, oh, why didn't they go after Eva? Like, maybe that's the only interesting thing, but that wasn't even discussed. Yeah, and like, but let's like, whatchamacallit, what's it called? Flush the idol. Like, how is that not the layer where it's like, Say is just like, I'll vote out Mitch, and it's like, okay, Say, if that's your big, like, we're watching old seasons of Survivor right now. There's some Bob and Gabon comes with a crazy harebrained plan, says it out loud to one of his alliance members, and they go, really? And he goes, no, but didn't that sound great? And they're, oh yeah. Like, if Say's big chance to get herself out of this hole is let's all vote Mitch, then I'm not devastated that she went home, because how was she going to get to the final 3 if her try to get through final 12 is that poor?
And I guess like my question to viewers, to our listeners, to anybody out there, and I'm asking this sincerely, is, did you want Say to stay in the game to see the chaos she wanted that she was going to cause? Or did you want Say to stay in the game because you wanted to root for her and then be disappointed when she lost at a final three? Because for me personally, Say staying in the game longer, kind of like Venus did, that's a good thing for my entertainment value. Would I have wanted to lose Mitch? Not really. I actually think Mitch is a really good casting choice. I want to see him do some of these challenges. He could be somebody who maybe takes down somebody in this Alpha Strong Five alliance. But that is my question to you. Because if you were sitting there watching this season, thinking that Say could win the season, you're crazy. It was never there. And that's not because her tribe is sexist or anything like that. It's just like the way that Say was playing the game, you win 0 times out of 1,000 when you're playing that way. She didn't know who the split vote was between at the final 13. Everybody else other than Mitch and Charity, who's sitting at home, knew who it was between. But Say didn't. And we see Shaheen talking to her, right? We see Shaheen having a conversation and being like, what do we need to do? And I think Say had even tweeted out like Shaheen gets it. Like he gets me, which I appreciate that. Like everybody's gonna be different. But my question truly is, were you thinking that Say could win this game, or did you just want her to stay in the game because she's entertaining? Because if it's the second one, I get it. Like, coach, keep going, baby. Like, let's do it. I would watch Say continue because Say is great TV, and I want to see what Say is going to do next. But Say was never going to win the game. So I don't know how people can really be that surprised, if they are surprised, that she got booted here. And I know a lot of people are looking at, well, she had 53 confessionals. She had 21 of those in the first episode. So over the next 6 episodes, she had 32. And yes, she still would have had the most on the season if she had 10 in the first episode.
I'm sure
But
she's
she
going to
wouldn't
have
be breaking all these records.
Like, there's at least 5 people we're still going to watch on Wednesday night that aren't going to end with more confessionals than Say had. So, like,
there might be more.
Yeah,
there might be more.
I think they were like, this is somebody who has a large part of the story, but usually those people sneak into jury and then have a crazy moment in the finale as well, and it makes sense that we have to set that up. I think the final thought process of this is, we have said, or Blake has said, or I have said at least 3 times in digging deeper, of like, she is playing one of the most aggressive games of all time in the pre-merge. And I think one thing, like flashy gameplay, aggressive gameplay, name your top 3 flashy winners of Survivor. Name your top 3 most aggressive winners of Survivor. Do those come naturally to you? Are you like, of course, the flashiest games were this, this, and this? Or does it happen literally once every like 15 or 16 times where you're like, of course they're beloved winners when you do figure out which ones they are, but it doesn't happen 30 times out of 45.
I'm putting that on the ticker there because I want comments right now. Name the top 3 flashiest winners of Survivor. I want comments. I want them.
Yeah, get to work, St. Cliffo.
Yeah, St. Cliffo, get in here. We got a bunch of people over here in the chat right now. I have it scrolling across. St. Cliffo said he's going to be streaming us on 8 devices now so he can get everything going. But I want people in the comments. I'm looking at the chat. Name the top 3.
Is Jonathan one of them?
Survivor, get out of here. So here's the first one. This comes from Daryl Seymour. Tony, Rob, and Parvati. Tony, I will give you. Rob in Redemption Island. Was Rob in Redemption Island really that flashy? Or was Rob in Redemption Island actually kind of safe?
His was like the most methodical army way of winning, but he threw the idol in the volcano, so that's kind of flashy, maybe.
Like, I don't feel like Rob played a flashy game. I feel like he actually played one of his most understated games, and they just pagonged the Zapatera tribe. I don't feel like he really did anything that crazy. And then Parvati, yeah, I know you gotta sit up. Like, Parvati, I think maybe I'll give people, but Parvati doesn't jump out like massively to me, but she does play her and Sari and Amanda and Natalie, they do so much in that season, so I'll give it. But I'm not sure about Rob. You have Neo Kuro who says Ben. What do you think? Ben Dreberg. I mean, he has all the idol plays. He makes fire.
I mean, Chris Underwood, is he flashy? It's like that was his whole story. So, but like, are you being like, I want to be like Ben whenever I get out there?
But so Daryl says here to back himself up, his flashy move was being a strategic artist and being charismatic the entire season. If that's flashy, Say wasn't playing flashy. Say wasn't playing a big, aggressive, loud game then. Like, that's, I guess, what my point is like the people who come out and play these super aggressive games, I truly think that Tony might, and maybe flashy wasn't the right word. Maybe we should have said aggressive. But like, I truly think Tony might be the only true answer to this question because more often than not, these people either get voted out or they don't win anyway. I mean, Jairo D. Garcia just listed 3 people who didn't win. Jesse Aubrey and Johnny Fairplay. So, I mean, they all play really aggressive, flashy games, and none of them go home with $1 million. So, I guess for me, that's just like, I guess the question is for most of the 30s, for a lot of the 20s, I felt that people were playing to play Survivor again. And the player who wasn't playing to play Survivor again, the players, plural, they normally did very well. They would win.
Tommy won the show. Like,
Tommy Sheehan could give a shit if you like him or not. That man is a millionaire. He's a principal. He's got his wife. He's got his kid. He's got everything he could possibly want. He does not care if you like him or not. But then there are players who I want to get my name etched into the stone of Survivor history. You can do that, but you're probably not going to win. And then that comes down to what do you want? And Daryl says here, Dom would have been a flashy winner. He was so close. Wendell isn't flashy. Yeah, Wendell's looking over with the swagger at the end, being like, I'm making this fire. You're going to lose, buddy. But that's not like Wendell didn't play a flashy game. Dom did. Russell played a flashy game. How'd that work for him? So I think I think your point is fair. And that's where I guess my question comes back to what is boring about this. You watch last season, Rachel didn't play that flashy of a game, right? Like Dee didn't play a flashy game at all. Kenzie couldn't play a flashy game because Kenzie's tribe was just decimated and she made a move here and there, but she made the Tiffany move, which was really impressive. There's no denying it. Jam Jam didn't play a very flashy game. He took his alliance as far as he could. Gabler didn't play a flashy game. Marianne didn't play a flashy game. Erica definitely didn't play a flashy game. You don't play a flashy game.
Maybe Marianne has a bit of flash like twice near the end.
The Omer boot is great.
Yeah.
The Omer boot.
What we're trying to say with this stuff, I think, is I really thought Say was going to put it all together and win because she got so many confessionals to start. Why did they focus on her? Nope. It's all personality. Say is not good strategically. Say is not good at personal manipulation or social play. She is also not good at challenges. Like she is the best we have had in a long time, though. Or she like this is up for debate of like I'm everything the show wants to show character wise.
Oh yeah,
and I'm also know how to not. I also know how to get attention, and like I think there was not harping on this stuff, but it's like when she doesn't play that one time, we still know more about her opinion about it than anyone else's opinion about it. And I think there is that one time of like, Chrissy is mad that Say is eating the fruit. Well, what did you take from that thought process? And now Chrissy has the opportunity to save Say, but chooses to go into probably a losing position with her because like, is it just because of one piece of fruit, or is that the easiest illustration of Chrissy and Say don't quite get along and will not have each other's back in the future because they can't even agree on how food is eaten at their tribe?
Yeah. Yeah. And so yeah, I agree with that. And then I'm just looking at this and I'm saying to myself, okay, was last season boring? No. And you were dealing with a bunch of calculated players who made the moves that were best for their game. I know when Saul gets voted off, we all question Genevieve, but then look how far Genevieve goes after that boot. Everybody was always saying, what is actually best for my game? And I think this season, because it's a group of big buff guys and Eva who are saying, I don't want to work with the women. I just want to roll through this. Thank you, Blake. Kyle gets left out. Kyle is unscathed. But because this is David and Joe and Shaheen and Eva, all of a sudden we've decided that why do they get to play the game that's best for themselves? That's stupid. That's boring. We don't want to watch this. And it's like, who's to say that at final 10, they don't say, hey, we should probably vote Eva out of the game and not tell Joe, but Joe's not going to really have a choice but to continue to work with us. But if Eva gets to the end, she's going to win. It's going to be a pretty epic blindside if David and Shaheen pull that off. We're writing off these players and this season just because. And during 46, we got to this exact same point during 46. We were yawning. We were so bored, right? Terrible season. Awful. That post-merge is one of the best post-merges in the history of Survivor with all the missed idol plays and everything like that. Why are we just, I just don't understand. Like, I get that last night's episode wasn't the most exciting hour and a half we watched, but the challenge was a lot of fun. The build up to the tribal councils was very good. The editors are doing a phenomenal job, even when they don't have much to work with. And like, that's good for me. I don't need the person going home to be a shock. Okay, let's move on. Let's see what these 10 people are going to do. I mean, like, we rank our seasons every time we go through every season matters. Every time we finish a season, we rank them. We just finished Gabon. We sit down and we rank them. I have China as my number one season. There's one blind side in that season? Like, there are unpredictable air quote boots, but from an audience member, other than when James goes home, are you really shocked that they booted Jamie with her fake idol? No.
Right. And I think one thing I want to say too is like
we got more pictures. Who's that?
These people, you don't know Kyle. It's like these people are interesting in their own right, or is it you just not connect with them? Like, are you not getting their stories? You know so much about all 4 people that are currently shown. You know so much about these people. And like, are you just, I think that's what they're trying to do this season is more character work. Mm-hmm. And so whenever people are saying it's boring, that maybe they're doing character work because there's not going to be as much strategy and manipulation moving forward. But like, you even saw the next time on Survivor this time where it was like clearly David is about to explode. Mm-hmm. And I think one thing that could be, it's always present in the background, but I don't know anything, to be honest, but we did figure out that some people thought Say was going to go to final 3 and have probably been consuming the show like Say was an in-gamer. And that seems like it was a spoiler that was either made up or somebody got wrong or something. So it's like, if you're thinking that Say is going to make it to the finals and you've been consuming the show like this, you're probably thrown off completely now. And it's like, maybe like whenever spoilers are correct, there's some seasons where, wow, I know exactly what to expect from every single episode. And I feel paid off because I know it's going to add to this. Mm-hmm. If I think Say is going to get to the final 3 the whole time and the story doesn't go, I think another thing of who cares what spoilers were, here's an actual example in the show. Mary and Say are a pair to watch out for on this season completely. And then after episode 4, they do not interact together.
Yeah.
Except for one final thing of, I'm excited to work with Mary again. And Mary goes, I wouldn't touch Say with the 10-foot pole. Hopefully I don't have to interact with her at all. Mm-hmm. And it's like, Mary told you guys, Say is not long for this world. Even the one person Say could not be more excited to work with is going, no shot in hell. And like, yes, Mary's saying it in a very comedic way. So maybe you're like, well, she'll come around because I in the back of my head think Say is going to get final 3. And how does she do it? She must work with Mary after this tribe swap. So like, I think that's something that may be the actual curse of Twitter right now of why is everybody so negative on Twitter is like, were you guys looking at spoilers and thinking Say was going to go further? And now
a lot of people are really confident Kyle was going home this week. That's all I'm going to say. Like, it wasn't just one person. It's like, where the hell did that come from?
Because like, how would Kyle, oh my gosh, how would Kyle even get a vote? And then it's like Shaheen's the distraction boot, not even Kyle.
Yeah.
So which spoiler did you guys go read that was completely wrong? That's going to sour your thought process. And I think it was interesting because I like drove to go watch Survivor, and my dumbass puts on Twitter one time, and I see your like, Say was a great character tweet. I was like, God damn it. Like, but I was like, okay, well, Say goes home. In my mind, I didn't really expect her. Like, Say is talking a big game. And like on the episode, she straight up says, I don't know how I'm going to get further. And you're like, oh, okay. Well, if she got further, she would have a crazy plan right now. And she just didn't. But we're going a lot on Say right now, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, but Say is the
He's
biggest
gone
talking
after
point of this
now,
pre-merge.
so
I mean, here's your numbers from last season. Rachel, Sam, Sue by 1, Teeny, Genevieve, Andy. 6 people got more confessionals than Say on this season.
And that's literally 6 of the final 7.
And that's literally the entire final 6. Gabe had 52, so missed out on Say by 1.
Okay.
So there you go. I mean, that's pretty unbelievable. So like she's the biggest talking point. I'm all about talking about it. And look, if you're not reading spoilers, whatever, it's just like we're using examples here because I do agree that was the whole thing with Cassidy. Everybody thought Cassidy was going to win 43. 43 was an unspoiled season. And I'll communicate with players and like other people who are in the community who know if the season is spoiled or not. As far as I know, this season is not spoiled. But when I start to see it's so obvious Kyle's going this week, how do you not see this, Phil? When it literally makes 0 sense when Gabe ranked him at 1 or 2, and I think I ranked him at 2. Yeah, that guy right there. When the story the entire time is that Kyle's in a great position and really understands what is going on, and he gets a split here that's great. And all of a sudden, everybody starts saying, to myself, all right, what did you see that makes you so confident in this? It's not hard to piece together all of that. So for me, that's just what drives me crazy. But
Camilla even said we keep getting put in crazy scenarios where we're completely insulated and have no idea of we're never going home. I was like,
we're never going home. Why do we keep getting all the power? Like, yeah, exactly. So here's the deal. We talk about Say. I think Say is a very good character. I know there was like things circulating that maybe she'll be on 50. Say might not be on 50, but Say will be on a future season of Survivor. She's young. She's phenomenal TV. That's what they want. She's got years ahead. If she doesn't play for 10 years, that's fine.
She's going to be on 54. She's going to be on 62, and she wins Survivor 70 whenever we're long and gone.
Yeah. So when they're just cloning Say, and it's just 18 Says running around the island. So I sit down, and now I want to talk about this Strong 5 alliance, Blake. Let's talk about it. Strong 5. Well, it's only 4, but we'll call it.
Well, Blake, 4 in that guy.
Four in that guy. Don't look at Camilla. Don't look at Camilla. Camilla, look down. Camilla, look really sad. Is this the best photo you could get of Camilla? This is awful.
Okay, well, I only had 4 hours to find photos.
The poor lady, though, it's like she's like a half in thought, half mouth open, hand in a weird spot. I mean, okay, anyway, here's the deal. I want to talk about this because this is also where I think that, look, I get a lot of our listeners are probably sitting here going, Phil, what are you guys talking about? Like, we're enjoying the season. Just shut up and talk about the episode. But here's the deal. There are so many people right now who this is boring and I don't want this group to win. So here's what I'm going to say right now. As a Survivor fan base, we used to root for the underdogs. That's what we used to root for, right? We wanted to see how far these people that we never expected to do well could go. Rudy was the first one. That was awesome. How can we see Rudy get so far? Roger and Elizabeth were underdogs in Australia, right? Season 3. Were there any underdogs in season 3? Kim Johnson, oldest woman to ever sit at Final Tribal Council. So that was one. Season 4, we literally watch the alliance of 5 that is a bunch of underdogs overthrow the evil Road 2-4. I'm just using those examples for now. But now we don't root for underdogs anymore. As a community, we pretend we're rooting for the underdogs. Because for years and years and years, the players like your Camillas and Stars and Chrissy's and all that were underdogs. But in New Era Survivor, the group that you're looking at right here, these are the underdogs. These are the people who don't do well in New Era Survivor. David, Joe, Shaheen, and Eva, this is the Gabon of the New Era. This doesn't happen. Last season, we had Sue and Rachel as 2 of the final 3. They don't look like this. In season 46, we had Kenzie, we had Ben, I mean, they don't look like this in season 45. You're talking D, Austin. Yeah, Austin's pretty big. I'm not going to lie. Jake's a strategist. It's all about the schemers and everything. So why is it that we don't root for an alliance that is literally an alliance built on people who don't normally do well in the new era? You can get mad at the honesty and integrity talk, but at the end of the day, the schemers and the strategists are the ones who are doing well. And these types of players are doing horrible in the new era. So I actually think this is an alliance of underdogs. And I think you all just only know how to pull for favorites nowadays. So that's what I got, Blake. What do you got?
I think there's a lot of, like, when you are watching a fictional show, you could probably do some stuff where it's like, oh, I thought this character would be more bravado. Like, why not? But these are real people. And I think that's always something of, oh, is Shaheen going to tell his biggest competitors, like, this is what Shaheen has to work with at the final 13, 12, 11, or now it'll be 10. And it's like, are you going to tell your other biggest competitors, I'm trying to gun for anybody right now? Or are you going to go, yes, honor and loyalty. It's never worked for anyone else in the last 10 years, but it's going to work for us. And like, they even know, like, well, I think Shaheen will be the first one to like break from that. And it's like, well, if they're going to let Shaheen get to 6 or 5 without any struggle, and that's all Shaheen has to do. If it was like, no, let's go guns blazing from 14 on, then it's like Shaheen goes at this double right now. Like, him saying yes to this alliance just kept him safe of, like, we could keep Cedric and take Shaheen out. Like, that is good gameplay for Shaheen so far. Who knows if it's going to be good gameplay for these other 3 people, but it's something where you're like, when you're a big, strong guy, it's, are you going to win every single immunity? Well, you'd like to say you could. Maybe David can. Maybe Joe can. But Kyle, Shaheen, Eva hasn't won one yet. Like, Eva has to be like, let's do us till the end. And I don't know, that's not an Eva voice.
I mean, also,
like,
Shaheen is not that physical of a guy. Like, Shaheen didn't do that well in this challenge. And like, Shaheen's just kind of getting lumped in here because he's a dude with a beard. Like Shaheen's a strategist more than a physical competitor, in my opinion.
Right. And I think what's interesting is Hyro has literally mentioned this 7 times in the chat, so I might as well bring it up.
He loves to do it. He's going to go until he gets our attention. That's what Hyro does.
He's literally like, this reminds me of the 2 worst Big Brother seasons of the last 10 years. And you're like, okay, yep. When strong guys get together and say, let's go to Final 5 together, it's not very entertaining because the word men are not usually the most conniving or the most, like, on their toes strategically. It literally is, we looked each other in the eye and made a decision on day 1. Like, even Cedric had that thought process of, I looked in Justin's eye first before I looked into yours, but then he goes back on it. And that's the first time in a while somebody's done like that. But the Big Brother is a whole different animal. You're watching that 24 hours a day, but it's like, I think they are building up Joe as a wonderful, amazing person that you would want to see win money. I think they are telling you David's story of, he needs this money more than ever to get to his next step. And then Eva telling you her story, because what if it's a David, Joe, Eva final 3 where they're like, who cares what happens? One of us is going to win millions and win $1 million and change our family forever. And we are the first people. Like, Gabler donated his money to veterans. What if they decided, instead of donating our money to veterans, we're only going to take deserving people to the final 3? And you guys, and there's a lot of Survivor fans, but you guys have celebrated in the past when maybe somebody doesn't win the show in a moment where it's like they would waste the money, or the other person who does win, like Jeremy has 8 kids now. Jeremy wins unanimously. And it's like, okay, perfect. Jeremy needed the money more than Spencer and Tasha. I'm not going to say Spencer played a better game, but it is kind of like, there's another times where it's like, Yule wins over Ozzy. Ozzy's going to waste the money. It's like, this is the final version of that. Of we're only going to take 3 people to the finals that all deserve the money, and we're deciding our reliances and loyalty based on who's deserving. Like, this is the end product of that, and maybe it's not going to be as interesting, but people have quote unquote solved the new era of how to make it to the end if this team does do this.
Mm-hmm.
Currently, they haven't. We could be talking about this for no reason, and 6 weeks later, we're going to be like, "Wow, Camilo, that was a crazy win!
They wiped out Timbira. Wow, isn't that insane? Like that's what it feels like." St. Cliffo, I just want to bring this one up. He says the internet's a small echo chamber. I bet the casuals love the strong five. It's no different than loving the leading man in a movie. People still love the alpha. Well, here's the thing: the people who listen to our podcast, they're the internet.
Is that a new profile pic, St. Cliffo? You had a wedding or something?
I know, different.
You got his hair.
But for a while there, it was like, when we're doing this, these are the people who are listening to us are mostly people who are obsessed with Survivor enough to post about it a lot. Now, maybe not the people who are in the comments over here, but that is generally what the audience is. So I'm just posing these questions because I'm genuinely curious. We have seen Eva's story, which I'm still mind blown that people can find anything to complain about with Eva, because they're like, wow, they what is it? Eva doesn't want to work with women. I'm so over her. Like, well, I'm over the people who do want to work with women. Like, what are we talking about here, right? I know. Cancel Phil. He's done. Kill him.
You're done.
Cancel his podcast. But you get what I'm saying. It's like people will find that. It's like you've had this beautiful story from Eva. You've had her coming out and telling everybody all she's been through and dealing with her autism and what Joe was doing, this incredibly emotional moment that made everybody cry. And here come the little internet trolls marching like little penguins, all their little keyboards to go, she doesn't want to work with women. I hate Eva. Like, congratulations behind your anonymous account. Get a life. So I just think that's crazy that we're not just unanimously rooting for Joe and Eva right now. That's nuts to me.
Because like one thought process, Jeff says this is the season of pairs, and everyone is like, "Oh, Mary and Tay," and it's like, no, Joe and Eva were even announced on the show together, like the same day.
Sacramento wrong there.
They spelled Sacramento wrong. Thanks a lot, Redmond. But like, it's just something where like they have been together forever since the dawn of time. Like the strong pairs, Kyle and Camilla. The strong pair is Joe and Eva. Those still have storyline. Those still have juice. They're gonna like, I'm sure the first time someone tries to vote out Joe or Eva, when Joe and Eva mobilize and try to use this idol, like, how are you not excited for that storyline of like, is that idol going to take out one of the 5, or is that idol going to shut the door and keep the 5 alive? Like, I think that's something where you're like, okay, are you not excited for that? Or like, it's not the right person doing those moves. Like, I don't like an idol play from Eva that would win her the game, because I just don't like Eva. Because
Star did it.
Yeah.
Boom.
It's Star's idol. If Star did that and made it to the finals, like, Star is amazing. I don't know why they waited 50 minutes to show anything she thought of last night.
She was so funny at the tribal with Chrissy too.
It was amazing.
Hilarious.
And like, I truly hope Star, like, okay, Star and Mary, I do hope they figure it out and break into this. Could not care less about Chrissy, because she just has not been focused on. I could care more about her. Let's put more Chrissy. That's a weird way to say that. But also
you said that backwards, but I get what you mean.
It also Mitch is like, I'm not rooting for Mitch. Like, it doesn't seem like Mitch has played a winning game. It seems like he's been playing a game that gets him voted out at 10th or 9th place. So when that does happen over the next 2 weeks, I'm not going to go, wow, they really blew it by not breaking up this big alliance for Mitch. Because I think we even said this last week, of this strong alliance, literally who is going to overtake it? They all have to work together, and all of them are like, Say is like, I need to get closer to Joe, and you're like, oh no,
that's not gonna happen.
You need to get all the stragglers together.
Well, and I think also when Survivor started, gameplay was such a secondary portion of the game, right? You had to vote somebody off, but it really was about
fish.
It was about the character.
We didn't have food falling from the sky every day, Jeff.
It was about people. It was about the people. It was about the people. And when I watch a Survivor season, so much of whether or not I enjoy a season comes down to, do I enjoy the cast that I'm watching? Right now, I feel like with this final 10, you know most of them pretty well. Chrissy has been totally overshadowed, which sucks. But after Mitch's episode last night, Mitch, Kyle, Camilla, Joe, David, Eva, Shahin. Yes, there's all of them. And then to go even a step further, we got Star's background now a little bit more. Mary and Chrissy are probably the two that I know the least. I feel like if you're watching just for gameplay, I could see why this is a disappointing season to you. But if you're watching for characters, I don't know how you sit here and you're like, man, this David guy, I hate this guy. I hate his face. I hate everything about him. Like, if you hate that face, I got bad news for you. There's not going to be many better faces in your life. So it's just, that's what frustrates me.
I can understand some people being like, the you broke a record. It was so cool to see. You broke a record. Oh my God, it was so cool to see. You broke a record. It was so cool to see. Was repetitive as hell for me last night. But it was like,
he did break a record, and it was cool to see.
When David is just literally not moving and like a statue, that is that is one of the most impressive challenge feats. But are you just not, are you not happy that it's David doing that? Like, who are you expecting to do that when it's like, and he's doing his picture that whole last time, and like, we're just going to keep getting pictures like this. But like, am I allowed? Not allowed. I don't have to be like, am I allowed to cheer for people? But it's like, when David wins, is everyone at home going like, this is freaking stupid?
Yeah.
Or it's like, no, it's a strength challenge. Like, next time, whenever it's a puzzle challenge, David's not probably going to win.
And that's what always blows my mind is the fan base in general is so quick to jump all over. Oh, well, David and Joe just won a challenge where it was like, you went to the gym a bunch of times, so you got to win a challenge. Okay, well, it's kind of like,
I played a lot of Sudoku. I'm going to crush you in a logic
I'm
puzzle,
kill
bro.
it in a puzzle. It's like, I don't understand why puzzles are okay. Well, David should have been better at puzzles. Well, maybe David, no matter how much he studies a puzzle, maybe he's just never going to be good at a puzzle.
Yeah. I will never do a pull-up as long as I live.
Exactly.
If there's a pull-up challenge, I'm going to go, really, Jeff? The one I needed to win is a pull-up challenge, and now I'm getting
and good,
ninth
get away
place
from
in
this
Survivor.
carnival style BS. Like, if you look at Australian Survivor this season, the one guy's won 6 immunity challenges. Now he's won 6 out of 10, so he hasn't beaten Ozzy or Terry or anybody's record. But still, he's won 6 immunity challenges because it's a lot less random. So what if it's like, who has the strongest forearms this time? Next time, who has the strongest whatever part of your brain does puzzles? Like, I'm fine with that stuff. So I guess, like, for me, you're right. It's is it just because it's David? And I do think that the Survivor community in general, and obviously the Survivor community,
he's too blessed to be stressed. Look at him.
Yeah, this is who listens to us. This is who ultimately is, the reason that we get to keep talking and complaining and whatever we want to do. But I do think we've gotten a little too ironic sometimes in who we vote for. Like, are we voting for Mary because we love Mary? Are you voting for Mary because she has great Twitter game and because she's actually been invisible on the season? Like, I do think sometimes people like Chrissy, it's funny, she's like too ironic for the Survivor community. But I do feel like there are certain people who just get to be rooted for. Like, when people be like, Chelsea from Ghost Island is a robbed goddess. It's like, no, Chelsea from Ghost Island is boring. That's what Chelsea from
Say has merit to root for. I don't
I
question that. But it is somebody where it's like, she ran into the glass door 6 times. Say did.
Yeah.
She's gotten the most votes against her for broke a record that way, probably. Like, did you want to see her run into 3 more glass doors and not be part of the main alliance and get voted out of 5, or run into 7 glass doors, then have like a final tribal council where she goes, everyone underestimated me and I played the game I could, and everyone just goes, okay, I've got a question for Joe and David, not you, Stay. Yeah. I've got a question for Joe and David, like they do on some seasons. Like, that would be terrifying. Thank God she didn't go through that as a 24-year-old. It would have mentally devastated her.
Yeah. St. Cliffo says that next week in Survivor, Camilla takes on David in Portal and Xbox. I wonder who wins. Like, God. That's the other thing. Like, dexterity. Like, if you have a certain career that just like makes you better at that. Like, also, Gabler had the record before this. He's 50 something years old. He held the record before this. It's not like a guarantee all the time of who's going to win these challenges. It's like, yeah, is there a favorite? Sure. Did David literally break that challenge? Yes. David could have done that until he died. Like David could have turned to bones.
I think something that's just went through my head as a joke is like, how come they don't have any challenges where it's like give an oral presentation on how Survivor works? And it's like, that's literally the final tribal council.
It's literally the final tribal.
And like, if you're not good at that, like Mike from 42, you play so well on every single facet, and there's no way you can give an oral presentation on your game or how Survivor works or how society has interacted with you over the last 26 days. You lose to Marianne. And like, that's your and like, maybe these wonderful alliance peoples that have done loyalty and honor till the very end are going to be very bad at giving oral presentation. And you get your payoff of, no, it's not who you thought wins. That goat that they took, in their mind, Star wins because she's the most eloquent or something. And it's like, oh shit, like I am kind of excited for something like that to happen. Like that's what you can root for right now. And I get that, like, on these seasons of Big Brother that are keep referencing in the chat, it's like, oh, I was rooting for the girl who got 6th place and lost to the 5 guys. I was rooting for Nicole in season 16. I was rooting for Brittany in 12. And they have come back and done all-star seasons all the time of like, they were such a bright spot on their season where the males dominated. Yeah. So if that's the case here, like for every season 47 and 46, maybe this is a season where it's like Mitch came in telling you, I'm going to have 3 men in the final 3.
Yeah, he did. He did. It's no surprise. And here's the other thing I have to say here, which is why I'm also kind of surprised at how much people are being negative about this season right now. We always talk about, the editors always favor the men. It's always so male heavy, blah, blah, blah. Well, say it's 53 confessionals right now. The next highest is 31 for Kyle, 25 for Mitch, Shaheen, Eva, and David, 24 for Camilla, 23 for Mary. Doesn't really get much more even than that. Yes, Star and Chrissy are down there, but Star and Chrissy being down there essentially make up for how high Say's numbers were. Joe only has 19. So really, from a perspective of like, who are they showing more of and stuff on this season? The men and women are being edited pretty evenly thus far. And so that's also something that kind of surprises me a little bit when you're starting to see like the reaction. And again, it's part of the internet that's just never going to be happy. But if we're analyzing episode 7, nothing happened last night that there was really to analyze. So I feel like we should be analyzing the reaction to the episode, where it was a pretty standard vote. And for the first time in a long time, we're seeing a male heavy alliance dominate the game. If it's a final 3 of all women, the internet can't throw enough confetti in the air. But if we get a David, Joe, Kyle final 3, this is the worst season I've ever seen. Like, that's just crazy to me. That's just silly. And like, I don't know. I feel like these players, and I'm including Star and Mary and Chrissy in this. Like, these players deserve to be treated more for how they've actually been on the show than just like what you saw of them in casting, or when you saw the Redmond picture and decided, I don't like Joe, I do like Eva. Like, think about what you're seeing on the screen and watch it that way and determine who you like and who you don't based on that. Like, that's how I always have done it with Survivor, except for Michelle, who was queen no matter what. Just worked out for me. But like, who's to say that Camilla and Mitch aren't going to get in Kyle's ear and say, let's flip this game on its head, Kyle?
Bro,
who's to say that's not going to happen?
There's only 12 days left and 10 people have to like have their fate decided. It's like, are you out of your mind? Of like, or 7 people if you want actual votes out. So 7 people are going to go out in 9 days because the last day is final tribal. So it's like, we're going to vote someone out every day except for maybe twice where, and like, I think one thing actually I do want to complain about, instead of telling you numbers, don't restate the stakes. That does nothing for this podcast. But like, one thing that I think blows my mind is like, we talk so much about our story and we have like pictures of our family or whatever. Why have they not brought back family visit shit after we've figured out what we need to do for COVID compliance and maybe gotten past a lot of the negativity of COVID for this production company. Like, yes, there's a lot of moving parts. If you just said the numbers of nine, there's 9 eliminations, 9 days to do 7 eliminations. When the hell do you think we would bring back 7 different family members? And you, because it's so short, you got to bring all these family members. It's like, if we care about the characters, if we care about these people's lives so much, the best way to do that, and okay, we're gonna have them write a thing and everyone cries about reading the letter, but like watching old seasons and Gabon's, like we're mentioning Gabon a lot. We're watching Gabon, like
Yeah.
the Gabon family visit where they all interact and they all get to go back and look at the elephant stuff and the broken ass water pipes and everything. They're not broken water pipes, but there's just water everywhere. It's like, isn't this cool? Like this is a more, I'm doing a character development than like anything. And it's like, wouldn't it be cool to have Joe's family member meet Eva's family member
Yeah.
on the island? I have to tell you, my brother or sister from Eva or family member from Eva, Joe made me feel so, he is literally my rock in this. And then those family members can be like, I never thought you would do this. Like that's the next layer of these moments and craziness that I'm like, is there not a producer in Survivor that's going, it'd be a lot easier and quicker to tell this story through their family members? Why haven't we done this?
Yeah, I feel like family visits will come back for 50. I feel like family visits are something that'll happen. Even if it's not a family visit, they'll definitely start doing like letters or something. Weren't there letters on last season, or am I making that up? I feel
No,
like
there's a letter. There's been a letter, and
yeah,
it's like,
'cause
I
Jesse
think
had
three
his.
people,
That's where Win Baby came from, or Win That Money
yeah,
Baby, or whatever it
three
was.
three people max get theirs. I think Genevieve maybe won and gave it to a couple others last time.
Mm-hmm.
Something like that, where it was
Yeah,
like, okay,
I mean,
not everybody, and it was devastating for the people that couldn't do it. But I don't get how, I do get how it's COVID stuff, but like in 40, Jeff is like, bring your entire family.
yeah,
This is what it's all about. What an amazing moment. And then just absolutely devoid of that in the new era, when I think most people would say the new era cares more about personalities and their stories. And it's like, the easiest way to tell a personal story about someone,
mhm,
about their personality and their story life, is bring out their freaking mom. Here we
yeah.
go.
No, I agree with that. I do agree with that. All right, let's wrap this. Let's wrap this up because
That could be the earn the merge, is like, Trixia, here's your family.
here's your
And
family instead.
and it's like, earn the merge. If you lose, your family member goes in for you. You
Start doing this back wherever they did Redemption Island, into the volcano, everyone. All right. So to wrap this up, I do think that the strong five is an underdog alliance. I think Camilla and Mitch still have a lot to say in what's going to happen. We heard Star last night saying, I want to vote out the strong people, which is who we're looking at right here. We have Chrissy who's saying, I'm ready to lie to people, just not tonight, literally just opening up a little too forward there, probably. So there's plenty of game left to be played here. I'm not writing this off. And if one of these people win, that doesn't mean that this is a boring season. There's plenty of time left. There's plenty of things that can happen. Let's let it play out. And yeah, the final 13 episode I thought was a dud. I didn't think last night's was really that bad. But when you split groups into 2 tribes of 6, you're going to get safe play when there's so much on the line. When
Right.
you are literally, am I flying home tomorrow? Or am I going to be a part of this game through the very end? You're going to play it as safe as you possibly can. And so that's what happens when you split them here at 12. And that's kind of the punishment we get. I'm waiting to see how this is going to happen. But me, based on what I'm watching on TV, yeah, I am rooting for these groups. I am. I am rooting for the 7 people I'm hearing more from. Sorry. Like Mary, maybe could be a fun underdog, but we haven't heard enough. Chrissy, I don't know anything. Star, I do like a lot. But the other 7 is who I'm hearing from. So the other 7 are who I'm naturally probably going to pull for. And right now, I have no idea which of these people will win. I know a lot of people are saying Shaheen after last night's episode was getting a lot of good content, especially the say conversation.
I just have
Maybe
no
he wins.
clue. They have no clue. There's not spoilers. I do
Yeah.
I do want to come out and say, I think the people that do Edgic and like, here's the contenders. It's like you put the 3 possible people that are going to make Final Tribal in your mind. Of like, if you thought Sam Phelan was making it to the end in the first 3 episodes of last season, it's like, what in your mind told you that besides, oh, there was somebody who knew
So
that it was.
who do you think is going to win then?
If there was not an over the top negative David in the next time on Survivor advertisement, I would stick with David. But if next week is the fall of David, then I'm going to guess who benefits the most from that. And it's Kyle and Camilla. And
I
you're
did
just
it.
like,
You saw that? I
you're
clicked
just
that,
like,
guys.
what the heck? Like, does Kyle win this? But then it's like, why are we not focused on Joe and Eva? So which pair wins over Joe, Eva, or Kyle and Camilla? I think it's Joe and Eva win because they have an idol. So I'm going to guess Joe wins the season. And they're waiting until this develops to like, guess what? We're about to focus on Joe all of the final 6 and like all of the finale and all of the final 7 episode. Don't worry. He'll get his confessionals.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's going to do it for this episode of Digging Deeper. If you want to become a patron, patreon.com/the specialist. Always at like this time of the month, this is when people kind of start to fall off because it's like when the renewal hits. So if you're thinking about becoming a patron, come on, join us over on the Patreon. I did my after show earlier today, which I put out every Thursday. I'm still going through the Australian Survivor seasons on Fridays. So that's been a lot of fun. And then we are going from Gabon to Tocantins. So if you want to hear me, Blake, and Will talk about Tocantins a whole bunch, jump over there and hear that. We're also doing casting
Tocantins.
Yesterday, Blake and I put out an episode about the Survivor 50 cast news that's kind of out there. So we talked about that. We got rock draws that me and Will are doing where you can throw in your own topics and we spin a wheel to figure out which one we're going to talk about. Those have been fun. John and I are doing movies, which has also been a good time. So like there's so much going over on our Patreon. So think about becoming a patron. If you want to test it out, go on over there. You can just sign up for a month and then you can cancel if you're like, these guys suck. I'm tired of listening to them. Otherwise, like this video. Please like this video. Especially if you made it this far in, all of you who listen this deep, please like this video. It helps a lot, especially in these times where people aren't dying for Survivor online content because they're like, well, that episode's done. Let's not do it anymore. Look at this, St. Cliffo coming through again. Patreon, very worth it. That's it. That's what I got. So everybody, thank you so much. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. And Blake, we didn't use one of your pictures, so let's throw it up here now. Bye, everybody.
See ya.